Don't really know where to start. Update edit. I talked to the DA this morning. She's being held without bail or bond until January 6th. She will have a court date then. The manslaughter charge is just what the officer who arrested recommended, but the DA said they could upgrade it if they have the evidence after they've served all their search warrants. We will find out on January the 6th before 5 p.m. Second edit. I just found 2 previous warrants for failure to appear. Based on that, she may be denied bail altogether even in January. He was my friend for 32 years. I met him when I was 13. He had a really hard life, even as a child, yet every single time I've ever seen him, he was smiling. He could have been Thor's body double. In that movie, looks just alike, and he always smiled. You know that song? Simple Man by Lynyrd Skynyrd. That was him. That was the type of person that he was. In the 32 years that I knew him, he was never mean to a single girlfriend he ever had. There were times that I was mad at people on his behalf because he wouldn't be mad at them. Instead of getting mad, he'd be like, "Really? Why?" Then he would just talk things out with people. It would end with him hugging somebody and everybody being good again. He was the peacemaker. He was the kind of guy that would come help you move. Even if you lived in another state, if he had the means, he would come help you. Take up for your children. Always kind to women. Always. Never once told a derogatory joke in 32 years. Not once. He never called a woman a bad name. Some men will call a girl the B word or something like that, but he never did. Never once made me feel uncomfortable. On the day he died, he made several posts to Facebook. One of them said, "Just because someone keeps you around doesn't mean they're choosing you." Another was, "In the end, we all just want someone who chooses us over everyone else." Being kept but not chosen is the loneliest place to stand. The worst feeling in the world is when you find out you didn't mean as much to someone as you thought you did, and you look stupid for caring so much. It's easy to find someone to chill with, but it's hard to find someone to build with. Secrets and lies kill relationships. No matter how careful you are, you will get caught. She was the type of person that would sneak around and mess with other guys. She is extremely insecure, so she's always looking for attention. I live by 3 rules. Don't lie to me, don't use me. And if you don't want me around, just leave me alone. A wise man once said, never respond to insults. The main purpose of people who insult you is to make you act without thinking. Frustrate them with your silence and shock them with your success. This is how he was the entire time that I knew him. He was way more wise than I am. When I was younger, I was really quick to get angry. He would be my peace. You would just say, "Let's go for a walk. Let's go sit by the river. Let's go have a bonfire." He would just sit and listen to what was wrong, yet he never offered any advice. He just lets you kind of work through it on your own. Somehow, in the presence of his calmness, it kinda made you feel silly for getting so upset about something that seemed trivial after you worked through it. I never cared about the material things someone could give me. I care about time, attention, honesty, loyalty and effort. Those gifts mean more to me than anything money could buy. For him, this wasn't just a post that he made online. This is genuinely how he lived the entire time that I knew him. The most heartbreaking thing that he posted on the day he was killed was, "Please do not put in my obituary that I was loved and adored by all my friends and family." Because no, I wasn't. The most heart-wrenching thing was he really, truly was loved and adored by every person that knew him. He posted those on the day he was murdered by his girlfriend. So that's a little bit about him. Now for a little bit about her. She fought with every boyfriend she's ever had. I'm not talking arguments and things like that. I mean, she physically has attacked every boyfriend she's ever had. Violently. She was arrested for aggravated battery on her last boyfriend. Busted a wall mirror over his face, arms and legs. Then she lied and said that he had attacked her. Every time she's ever gotten in trouble for domestic violence, she claims that the man is the one that attacked her. So when she killed my friend, it was no different. In the police report where she was arrested, the officer made a concerted effort to put in it that there were no marks on her at all whatsoever. That she claimed that she had been hit, but she didn't have a single mark on her. Yet he was bloody all over. Except this time when she claimed that it was a domestic violence situation and that he was a threat to her after she killed him. Everybody came out in force and said, "No, we don't believe you." We all knew that eventually she would kill somebody. We just had no idea that it would be him. She could have taken out anybody else and it wouldn't have made near the impact in our community as it did when she killed him. So I've known her for 29 years. She is the type of person that will get in your face and make you want to hit her. Then if you don't hit her, she will get angry and she will attack you physically. So when she jumps on you and you try to knock her off of you, she claims you attacked her. Then she'll pretend to be the victim. Then as according to the law it becomes a you said they said type situation. When in reality she just straight up attacks somebody. That's how she's always been. So when she said that, there was a fight, nobody believes her. When she killed him, they took her to the police department and they processed her. You know what they do? Bagged her hands, took pictures, took swabs, stuff like that. Questioned her for a really long time. He had called the cops on her before and told them that she was beating him. She had been arrested several times before for attacking him, yet he never laid a hand on her. Not once. So she was arrested for domestic violence against him, but he wasn't. Because he wouldn't even defend himself. She's used to getting arrested, though. She's been in and out of jail for as long as I've known her. One time she was arrested for selling meth to a cop. In her own driveway. Yeah, class act man. When the cops went into her house, when she tried to sell the cop meth, they found like weed and heroin and Suboxone and a bunch of other stuff, along with meth. So the day that he posted about his obituary, she stabbed him. He bled to death. There are conflicting reports on whether or not she called the police for help, or when and if she called at all. What I do know is she stabbed him and he didn't call for help. If he would have had his phone, he would have called for help. He had asked other friends and even his ex-wife to please come talk to her because she was domestically abusive. He was asking for help anywhere he could find it. So now that I've mentioned his ex-wife, I'll tell you a little bit about his ex-wife. So his ex-wife has been my friend for 29 years as well. When they met, I thought they would be together forever. I was so happy for them. However, she got cancer. Then she did the one thing I'd never expected. She told him that she wanted a divorce because she did not want him to watch her die. That she wanted him to live his life and be happy. To her, that meant not taking care of her while she died of cancer. So she divorced him. He still went to her house all the time. Sat with her when she was really sick, took her to the doctor. When she would let him, that is. Most of the time, she just wouldn't let him be around. She did not want him to watch her suffer. She loved him so much that she did not want him to be sad. So she forced him to go on with his life without her. She is currently in remission but she is still extremely sick and she relapses and we just don't know. And now that he's been killed, her heart is broken. So we really don't know if she's gonna make it now because she's so sad. So the girl that stabbed him goes online on Facebook after he dies. And she's saying things like, well, if I was guilty of something, they would have arrested me. She was pushing her claims of it being self-defense. There were hundreds of comments telling her that it was not self-defense. People were telling her that not being arrested did not mean she wasn't guilty, it just meant she had been arrested yet. So finally she gets off Facebook, but the last thing she does is 2 days later she posts a picture of her and my friend that she murdered. She posted a picture of her and my dead friend. After she killed him. And what struck me about this picture, it's the only picture I've ever seen where he wasn't smiling in 32 years. I sat and I thought about it, and I realized that I had never actually seen him not smile. Through his rough childhood, through being poor, through us, being teenagers with no supervision and walking the streets with no money and everything else, he always had a smile on his face. No matter how hard things were, he smiled through it. She was arrested 4 days ago. For manslaughter. I'm really sad that she wasn't arrested for first-degree murder. I guess they think they can't prove intent or premeditation. I personally feel like that prior instances of domestic violence are intent and premeditation. I believe that when she picked up that knife, she made a choice to pick up a deadly weapon. I believe her picking up that deadly weapon was premeditation. I think she should have to pay for that to the fullest extent of the law. He is by no means the first man that she's ever violently domestically abused. She's been an abusive person for the 29 years that I've known her. That's why I never really spent any time around her, even though she's my other friend's cousin. She's always done hard drugs and drank. She's always been really insecure, so she's attention-seeking and always seeking the attention of men. Not in a good way. So she would end up with the type of men that would take advantage of her. All of her relationships were domestically violent. However, she was the only relationship he had ever been in that was domestically violent. I really wish I was good at finding things online. I'm not good at finding things online at all, actually. I know somebody who tells me that I can't find things online because I word things weirdly. Maybe I do. I'd like to be able to find more information about her prior arrest and things like that. I'd like to be able to find out, when her preliminary hearing will be. I called the detective overseeing the case. Sometime last week, he told me I could go to the clerk of court's office and get a copy of every time she's ever been arrested. He said that I could get a copy of every time that the police had been called to his or her house prior to her killing him. I could even get a copy of the record of the night he died. He told me he thought it would be 6 months before it went to the district attorney. That was last week, and a couple days later she was arrested for manslaughter. So I don't know if that means the district attorney has already taken the case or not. I don't know if that means that the police are still investigating and they just have enough evidence to arrest her. She has not been given a bond or bail. So they're holding her without bond and without bail. So apparently that means that they think she is a flight risk or she is a danger to the community. So it's 4:30 in the morning now. I cannot sleep. I am so unimaginably sad. My heart is broken for his daughter and his sister and his mother. For all of his friends beside myself. I'm sitting here waiting for 8 a.m. to roll around so I can call the district attorney's office. I want to be their first phone call of the day. I want to see if the case has gone to the district attorney's office or if the detectives are still investigating it. The detectives told me he had a stack of search warrants that he was gonna serve. I believe some of the search warrants were for her house and her phone and her online communications and things like that. Apparently they found something that was enough to arrest her for manslaughter. So we'll see. I honestly don't know how many people will actually read to the end of this post. Everyone I know is hurting. So I don't have anybody else to talk to. Trying to talk to other people is just going to make them hurt even more than they already are. I couldn't even type this without crying. There's no way I could have this conversation with another person without sobbing. Like ugly sobbing. I hope I can find out what day the trial is on, the preliminary hearings and things like that. I want to find out when it is and I want to send the dates to all of my other friends. That way we can all go to the courthouse and just pack the courthouse out. That way the judge and the jury can see what an effect this has had on the community. So that they can see how much he is still loved even though he's not here. I don't want them to think that he's not loved because there's nobody there. Or because it's just the family or something. On his side of the courtroom, I want to fill up the standing room. I want there to be so many people that some of us even had to stand outside. That way when the jury goes to lunch and stuff or they leave for the day, they see us standing outside. I would stand in the rain to be there, the freezing cold rain, I don't care. Even if nobody reads this, it still helps a tiny bit just typing it out, even if it's just to the void.